welcome, reading the Bible with me. I appreciate it. Whether it's your first one, your 10th one, your 100th one, I appreciate it. I know God does because you're working on your relationship with Him. You're letting Him know that He's important, that you want to involve Him in every part of your day, and eventually in every situation of your day, which is crazy. Because I'm not even there yet, before I like go into certain meetings and stuff, or a little anxiety or whatever, like I just shoot one up. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what's behind the next door. I just ask that you've already prepared me, right? It's just that all of that becomes available to me when I get behind the other door. Oh, all right, man. Internet's on. We popping. I still haven't figured out the glare. I think the glare is gonna remain until I figure out how to um, either go off the camera, which the camera is not really good on this Mac. I've used it before. It's not the greatest. And then I could read from I'd rather read on the big screen because at least it's a little, but it's not as bad as trying to read off my phone without glasses. All right, Proverbs 25. These are also the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. As the heavens for height and the earth for depth, so the hearts and minds of kings are unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there comes out the pure metal for a vessel for the silversmith to shape. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Do not boastfully ambitious and claim honor in the presence of king, and do not stand in the place of great men. For it is better that it be said to you, come up here, than for you to be placed lower in the presence of the prince whom your eyes have seen. Do not rush out to argue your case. I've done that. Otherwise, what you will do in the end, when your case is lost and when your neighbor, opponent, humiliates you, argue your case with your neighbor himself before you go to court. And do not reveal another's secret. How many times have you been in a fight and that secret just come on out? Because ain't no fighting fair. And I'm like, dang, that's where we going? That's where we going? We going to the lowest of the low? Or he who hears it will shame you, and the rumor about you will have no end. Like apples of gold and settings of silver is a word spoken at the right time. Like an earring of gold, an ornament of fine gold is a is a wisery power prover to an ear that listens and learns. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the life of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts falsely of gifts. Okay. And then it says he does not give. So, like clouds and winds without rains is like a man who boasts falsely of gifts. By patience and a calm spirit, a ruler may be persuaded. And a soft and gentle tongue breaks the bone of resistance. By patience and a calm spirit, you may get the job. Yeah. Yeah. I'm being serious though. Have you found pleasure sweet like honey? Eat only as much as you need, otherwise, being filled excessively, you vomit it. Let your foot seldom be in your neighbor's house. Man, come on now. Take a deep breath. I don't want to go off too much on that. Let your foot be seldom in your neighbor's house, or he will become tired of you and hate you. I was over my neighbor's house once last year. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But you know what though? Yeah, it wasn't that much. It was excessive now, but back then, pre-COVID, I think every weekend we were grilling out. Yeah, for sure. Shout out to, can I drop names? Shout out to C. Shout out to L. Shout out Sabato. Shout out B. Yo, shout out the neighbors from the spot across the street coming across. We had good times. Um, like a club and a sword and a piercing arrow is a man who testifies falsely against his neighbor. Like a broken tooth or an unsteady foot is confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble. Like one who takes off a garment in cold weather, or like a reactive, useless mixture of vinegar on soda, is he who thoughtlessly sings songs to a heavy heart. Okay. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. That's crazy to read. Who's around their enemy? If he is thirsty, give him water. For in doing so, you will heap coals upon fire upon his head, and the Lord will reward you. All right, bet it up then. We're gonna. So I'm gonna get some reward out that. All right, say less. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm beginning to think like, how do I feed my enemy creatively? I don't have any. Yeah. I don't have any. Uh, the north wind brings forth rain, and a backbiting tongue, an angry countenance. It is better to live in a corner of the house. This said this a couple times. I'm gonna skip that. 25, like cold water to a thirsty soul. So was good news from a distant land. You ever think back to that moment, like when you really wanted like ice cold water, like you really, and you got it? It was fire. It was fire. I think mine was um we were really thirsty or something, and we had something to do with Oak Hill, and Oak Hill had well water. We lived in the town limits. Man, that well water came out of there so cold. Shout out to Oak Hill Missionary. Yeah. Uh, like a muddled fountain in a polluted spring is a righteous man who yields and compromises his integrity before the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey. Well, it says much honey. Nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. Man, I sold all these, I did all that, my numbers is better than his. I get like that in my head sometimes. Like a city that is broken down and without walls, leaving it unprotected, is a man who has no self control over his spirit and sets himself up for trouble. All right, that's 25, man. We got that done pretty quickly. I ain't go off too much. Appreciate you guys. Um, Next time.